what is the proper way to read the Bible? This is a question that I got on my YouTube page that I thought was worth doing a quick video over. And I know that previously I went over the structure of the Bible in the traditional order, and I'm going to touch on some of that today and give you a little bit more context and information about the proper way or the best way to read the Bible. The first 5 books, you find the Jewish law. It also tells you about creation, and it sets certain points that are covered and discussed throughout the rest of the Bible. After that, you get the story of the Jews, which is from Joshua all the way to Esther, and depending on which version of the Bible you have, there may be other deuterocanonical books that are in there. But getting to know the Jewish history is extremely important. That's where you find out about David, Solomon, the temple. There's so many things that happen. These are God's people, and we need to know what happened with their life and why it is that they end up in certain situations. After that, there's a pause, and we get into the wisdom section. The wisdom section is Psalms through Song of Solomon. This is where, what's the phrase? Rubber meets the road, where you can do some practical things that you can do in your life, and you get a deeper appreciation for the Jews, because this is the Jewish wisdom. We're talking about Proverbs. We're finding out structures for prayer. There's a lot. The book of Job. There's so much that you can learn from these books of wisdom. After that, then we pick up with Isaiah all the way through Malachi, and it's the prophets, and the prophets are giving a message from God to people or to the Jews, but they are really not listening. And it is a very sad message, because God is trying to get this message across to them, and they just will not listen. And it's heartbreaking. There's prophecy. There's so many things that happens through the prophets. A lot of what Jesus does is prophesied by these prophets and gives a lot deeper meaning to Jesus. Then we get to the New Testament. We start with the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. If you want to fall in love with Jesus, you read the Gospels, you read them over, you may read them over again. You do it as a daily practice, and the whole reason for that is if you read the Gospels, it will make the Old Testament a lot easier to digest, because a lot of the Old Testament points towards the Messiah, and that's exactly what Jesus is. After the Gospels, you have the church history, which is the book of Acts, and you also can see what the Holy Spirit can do. Then you have the letters, the epistles, mainly letters written by Paul to different churches, to different people, talking about theology,